A pleasant day to all of you. My name is Timothy Joseph C. Estandarte, and before I carry on this speech, uh, I have in mind, let me ask you guys a question. Are mental health issues being handled with utmost care during these times of despair, or that these issues became neglected? Mental health illnesses are one of the biggest pandemic issues our country is facing right now. Aside from the COVID-19 virus, ever since the pandemic started, thousands of our countrymen experienced loneliness, extreme sadness, bottled up problems, and the feeling of being lost, which later lead into mental illnesses. Depression and anxiety are on the rise among Filipinos as they struggle to perform and function in the face of pandemic awareness. A lot of us tried to reach out to our friends and family about how we feel, but some chose to put on a masquerade and dealt with their problems alone. As the virus caused the pandemic to linger a bit longer, the mental state of our people got even worse than the pandemic itself. People who were already suffering from anxiety and depression before the pandemic have noticed that their levels of uncertainty, anxiety, fear, and anguish doubled, triggering environments and the lack of emotional support from their loved ones caused some individuals recovery from their mental health illnesses to hit the wall. According to the Philippine Statistics Authority, suicide incidents increased by 25.7% over the previous year. As the Philippines economy struggled to reopen after a poor pandemic response, the number of deaths attributable to self-harm soared because times where individuals need professional and emotional support the most. Rising cases of anxiety, depression, and suicide, among other things, will inevitably raise demand for mental health care in the face of renewed lockdowns. In times like this, public awareness campaigns for mental health are essentials. More resources and awareness about this crisis are needed, specifically in relation to the pandemic and everything that affects the mental health of individuals in our country. If access to physiological care is mostly determined by one's financial situation, then providing free public mental health services could be a game changer, for it could save so many lives that are in need of help. In the present circumstances that we are experiencing at the moment, we are not only fighting for ourselves to survive the pandemic, but also get through the silent battles in our minds that we encounter every single day. On the brighter side, the silver linings of the pandemic's mental toll has encouraged increased openness and empathy in discussions about mental health, which is indispensable in removing the stigma that hinders some people from seeking help. Overall, the one thing that I learned from this pandemic is how deadly mental illnesses are than the virus. Just like the virus, When these illnesses are ignored, it becomes worse. The only difference between the two is that the virus can be prevented by a vaccine, while mental illnesses can only be controlled if it's prioritized and taken care of. Prioritizing mental health is as important as the virus, and it is also crucial in every aspect of our lives. Mental health is not a joke, and it should be taken seriously. Always put in mind that you matter, and seeking help is not a sign of weakness or giving up. It is a sign of strength and courage to fight the battles within ourselves in a healthier manner.